You're not poor because you're lazy. You're not poor because you're stupid. You're poor because nobody ever taught you how to build wealth. And today, we're fixing that. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why you're stuck, and more importantly, how to get out. You never learned about money. Think about it. Your parents didn't teach it. Your school certainly didn't teach it. So right now, you're playing one of the most important games of your life without knowing the rules. Rich people know something you don't. And I'm not talking about some secret formula or a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm talking about real financial literacy, understanding how money works, how compound interest works, how assets work. A wealthy person looks at money differently than you do. They understand that every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you want to live. But most people, they just spend without thinking, and that's why they stay poor. The good news? You can learn this right now, today. You have access to more information than ever before in human history. You can learn what took wealthy people years to figure out in just a few weeks of focused study. Here's something I want you to really understand. You see someone driving a luxury car, wearing designer clothes, posting on Instagram from exotic places, and you think that person is rich. They're not. They're pretending. Because here's the secret rich people don't talk about. They don't buy expensive things to show off. They buy things that make them money. That's the difference. A poor person sees a Ferrari and thinks, I want to be like that. So they save up, buy a Ferrari they can't afford, and now they're broke, and they have a car payment. A rich person sees a Ferrari and thinks, how can I buy a Ferrari without it affecting my finances? Maybe they buy one after building a business that generates $100,000 a month in passive income. You've been playing the wrong game. You're trying to look rich instead of actually becoming rich. You're focused on consumption instead of production, on spending instead of building. The moment you flip this switch, the moment you stop caring what people think and start caring about what actually builds wealth, everything changes. You start making different decisions. You start investing in yourself. You start building assets instead of accumulating debt. You believe poverty is your destiny. This is maybe the most important point, so listen carefully. A lot of people grow up in poverty and they internalize a message. This is just who I am. This is my life. Poor people stay poor. That's reality. And that belief becomes your prison. Because if you believe something is impossible, you'll never even try. You won't see opportunities because your brain isn't looking for them. You'll rationalize staying in your situation. But here's the truth that will change your life. Poverty is not a destiny. It's a situation, and situations can change. Every single wealthy person you know, whether they were born rich or built their wealth, at some point made a decision. They decided that their current situation didn't have to be their future. They looked at their life and said, this is not acceptable. I'm going to change this. And you can do the exact same thing right now. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. The only difference between you and someone who's building real wealth is that they believed they could. Start believing. You haven't invested in yourself. Most poor people spend their money on things that lose value, things that depreciate, a car, clothes, entertainment. But wealthy people? They spend money on becoming better versions of themselves. Think about it. What's your most valuable asset? It's not your house, it's not your car, it's you, your skills, your knowledge, your network, your ability to create value. If you invest $1,000 in yourself, maybe that's a course that teaches you a valuable skill, or a coach who helps you build your business, or books that expand your thinking. That $1,000 can multiply 100 times over because now you have a skill that makes you money. But if you spend $1,000 on a designer handbag, that thing loses value the moment you buy it. It might be worth $500 next year. And what did it do for you? Nothing. It just sat there. Rich people think in terms of return on investment. Every dollar they spend, they ask, is this going to make me money? Is this going to make me better? Is this going to increase my value? If the answer is no, they don't spend it. Start doing this right now. Look at your spending. How much of it is actually improving you versus just making you look good? Make a change today. The last reason you're poor is this. You think you need thousands to begin. You think you need perfect conditions. You think you need to figure everything out first. You don't. You know what you need? You need to start with whatever you have right now. One of the biggest myths is that wealthy people got rich because they had more money to start with. Sometimes that's true, but most successful people, they started with nothing. They started small. They started scared, but they started. Maybe you start a side hustle with $100. Maybe you learn a skill in your free time and start freelancing. Maybe you read a book about investing and open your first investment account with $50. These things are small. They seem insignificant. But here's what happens. You gain momentum. You learn. You start making money, even if it's small, and you reinvest it. Before you know it, 6 months later, you're making real progress. A year later, you've completely changed your situation. The people who get wealthy are not the ones waiting for perfect conditions. They're the ones who say, I'm starting today with what I have, and I'm going to figure it out as I go. So the question is, are you going to be that person, or are you going to keep waiting?
Here's what I want you to understand about poverty and wealth. It's not about luck. It's not about talent. It's not about your circumstances. It's about the decisions you make. The difference between someone who stays poor and someone who becomes wealthy is simple. One person decides to change their life. The other person doesn't. Rich people are not smarter than you. They're not working harder than you. They just made different choices. And because they made those choices consistently over time, their life looks completely different. But the beautiful part, the part that should inspire you right now, you can make those same choices starting today, right now, before this video ends. You can decide, I'm done being poor. I'm going to learn about money. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to start building. I'm going to take action. Your situation might not change overnight. But if you commit to making better decisions consistently for the next 6 months, your life will be unrecognizable. So what's it going to be? Will you stay where you are? Or will you start building your way out? The choice is yours. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you're going to do differently starting today. I'll see you in the next video.